Hey, you've been waiting for the City Point Church Building for the Future update, and I'm here to give it to you today. Here's the thing. We started some time ago with a dream, a long vision, and a perceived need. And we didn't know. We did not know what that building would cost. And of course, how could we know that, in particular during this time when building prices are just skyrocketing and such? But that's where we started, and I think that's a good place to start, with a dream and with a vision and with the perceived need. And then we cast the vision. We cast the vision to the church, promoting, talking about what this would look like and how it would serve our community and how it would serve the church and the gospel. And then we responded, right? As a church, we said, here's what we can do as individuals, as families. And again, just like we didn't know what the cost of the building would be, we didn't know what kind of money we could raise in that regard. And so, but people responded. They began, some gave right away, some committed sacrificially and joyfully, and others, for their own reasons, held back a bit and said they really felt like they needed a little more information. And I think that's okay. I think that's a good thing. But here's where we landed then as a leadership team. We want to know why some didn't commit. And so we set about to listening. Of course, first listening to the Lord. This has been saturated in prayer all along the way, and we're continuing to be attentive to where the Lord is, or how the Lord is leading us. But we also wanted to listen to our congregation. And so our pastors and elders are making phone calls in this 30 days of contemplation, making phone calls, setting up appointments, responding to emails and saying, where are you at? Talk to us about this. And there was some very kind of overarching themes in that. First, people are committed. People are excited about where the church is at. People are excited about the ministry of the church now and into the future, but people are concerned. People were concerned about the cost of that building, the size of that building, and whether or not we would take on more debt than we could handle. All of that is very legitimate, and we're really glad. The other thing that I would say is not all of the calls got made with the COVID-19 kind of running through our leadership team. Not everybody got to make the calls that they were supposed to make, and I apologize for that. But I want you to know we're still listening. So if you wanted to get a hold of one of the pastors and elders and express your heart and mind in that, that's perfectly fine. We're not done listening. But that's where we were at with that, in that 30 days of contemplation and continuing to seek the Lord in that. And so we've come to this where, okay, we're trying to listen to the Lord, we're listening to the congregation, and we're saying, okay, now we need to make some adjustments to both the building design as well as the scope of the project, still keeping that long vision in mind and still trying to make sure that the needs are going to be met. And so here's the adjustments that we're making in regards to our Building for the Future campaign. 3 things. Number 1, we're setting an overall cost for the project at $4 million. Before we were roughly $6.5 million, but we're setting a threshold of $4 million for the overall cost of the project. And what that's going to look like is this. We're going to have $2 million either saved or committed as our initial trigger point. So we're going to save and continue to receive pledges until we have that $2 million. And that's going to be the trigger point. The other $2 million we would be willing to take out a mortgage for. So that's the first thing. Obviously, the building itself is going to change, and because you can't reduce it from $6.5 million to $4 million without some significant changes, but it's still going to be a very good, very functional building with plans for long-term future that could be expanded if necessary. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that we're going to get the project design complete. The civil work, the building work, all of that's going to be complete so that we will know what those numbers are, and we'll be able to put it out to bid to the contractors who would like to bid on this. So that's the next thing. We're going to get the project design complete. And then the third thing is that we're going to take an assessment of our congregation with who has skills and who has resources that can help us reduce the cost of the overall project. And I know we've got tons of skilled people and tons of resources within the congregation that we can greatly reduce the overall cost. And so that's just going to be an exciting thing for us. So, and the last thing I would say is we're going to continue to promote this project. And so you're going to see some new promotions. The new schematic will be out soon, and you'll be able to see that. And the reason we're going to continue to promote this is because we've got our foot on the throttle, friends. We need to be able to move forward with this. I think our timeline is still in play. We still may be able to meet that timeline that we had projected some time ago. So that's going to be great. And we're going to continue to promote it so that those who are committed will be encouraged to continue with their commitments. And for those of you that have been holding out a bit, this promotion is to help you to say, yes, this is a good plan. I like the adjustments. Let's move forward with this, with our donations, with our pledges, and God's going to help us, and it's going to be great, friends. Hey, here I am. I'm out on the building site with our camera crew, and I want to challenge you with something that I feel like the Lord challenged me in a time of really seeking the Lord and praying about this project. I sense the Lord say to me, can you see it out there? And I really stopped for a moment and thought, okay, the Lord is asking me a question. And I came to this conclusion. I said, yes, I can see it out there. So I'm going to ask you that question. Can you see it out here? Can you see it out here? It's an issue of faith for us, friends. Let's do this.